To afford the $10 million roster that secured Michigan's 2026 national championship, the athletic department had to undergo an aggressive corporate restructuring. While fans celebrated a title run on the court, the athletic department was conducting a bloodbath behind the scenes. Staff were being laid off and administrative budgets slashed just to maintain solvency. The 2025 House settlement introduced a mandatory $20.5 million revenue sharing cap, plus $6.2 million for new scholarships. At the same time, a reduced football schedule created a separate $19.1 million admissions deficit. Combined, the athletic department faced a projected $27 million operating deficit for 2026. Traditional donor outreach was no longer enough to solve a shortfall of this scale. The program had to pivot from old-school recruiting to modern cap management. Michigan chose to financially liquidate its coaching legacy to afford a team that could actually compete in a market driven by player payrolls. That liquidation started with Juwan Howard. Despite his connection to the Fab Five, his tenure became a distressed asset after an 8-24 season, and it had to be cleared from the books. This pie chart shows the $10 million exit tax to fire him, a $3 million lump sum, and $7 million in owed salary. Michigan accepted this opportunity cost to stop the erosion of the program's enterprise value and prevent further revenue losses. To replace Howard, the university acquired Dusty May, a high-growth asset, who had already led Florida Atlantic to a Final Four. May's initial contract averaged $3.75 million a year. It was a bargain for a coach with his pedigree, especially compared to rivals earning upwards of $8.3 million. The investment paid off immediately. May's championship victory earned him a $400,000 bonus, but it generated roughly $14.7 million in tournament television revenue for the Big Ten over the next 6 years. By paying the upfront liquidation penalty, Michigan was able to deploy a head coach who delivered an efficient, championship-level return. But hiring a coach was only part of the equation. To fund the $10 million roster, the university cannibalized its own internal departments. The first move was a staff reduction. The athletic department announced a long-term goal of cutting 10% of its total administrative workforce through attrition. Next, the department forced an internal tax break, slashing its television revenue allocation to the central campus from $8 million down to just $2 million. Finally, the university's main administration provided a $15 million cash injection from its own non-general funds to keep the athletic budget balanced. They also ramped up venue monetization. New alcohol sales at the Big House and Chrysler Center generated over $2 million, while a single Zach Bryan concert added another $1.7 million in net revenue. To finalize the player payments, the school leaned on the Champion Circle Collective. This acted as a shadow budget, using external donor funds to cover the millions in payroll that the university couldn't legally pay itself. The championship was the result of a complete institutional restructuring that transferred wealth from academic funds and administrative jobs directly to student athletes. This institutional shift bought Michigan a championship starting five, built almost entirely through the transfer portal, for an estimated $10 million. This bar chart compares Michigan's capital efficiency against its competition. While the Wolverines spent $10 million to win a title, Kentucky spent an estimated $22 million on a roster that didn't even make the Sweet 16. Michigan's success was driven by cap management, using analytics to find portal players whose market value was lower than their projected output in Dusty May's system. This marks the end of an era where wealthy alumni donated for buildings and legacy. In this new environment, academic resources are being diverted to subsidize athlete payrolls, making college basketball a cutthroat corporate enterprise. Michigan didn't just win a trophy, they provided the blueprint for how to survive the transition from amateur athletics to direct player payrolls. To see which other programs are surviving this transition, hit subscribe and tell us in the comments which team's budget we should audit next.